6 airbases, 140 drones, $7 billion in damage. This was truly a modern-day Trojan horse. In this clip of Checkin Report, we discuss the brilliant and unbelievable, devastating military operation Ukraine was able to pull off and embarrass the whole Russian army. Check it out.
One of the greatest military operations happened in the last week by the Ukraine. Operation Spiderweb. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Operation Spiderweb was a coordinated drone attack. Okay, this was planned since last year, December 2023. It took 18 months to pull this thing off. And basically, what they did, their main objective was to bomb the Russian bombers' fleet airplanes. Okay, because that was a big thing. That's what Russians doing right now, is really bombing these civilian towns and places. And they really can do it with the bombers. They fly hard. They fly really high, out of range of missiles and stuff like that, or any missiles that Ukraine has. If the states were there, it would be no problem. Whatever Ukraine has. So this is a genius. This is a genius move. So they attacked They attacked deep into Russia in 6 different military bases deep in Russia that were holding these basically Russia's top bombers. Okay, top important, very valuable planes. These are 1, 2, 3. I think there's even another one in the middle over there. Not showing on this map. They hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this one over here. One day they hit 5 to 6 military bases with the Russian fleet of bombers.
What did they use? So far,
they used over 140 drones.
That's it.
And now you ask yourself, how the fuck did they get drones out there? There's that place on the other side of Russia. It's basically the other side of Canada. Right? The drone doesn't even get that far, but it gets 5 miles. What they did is they built this custom trailers for a truck, 16-wheeler, those crates. They built them with drones hidden inside. This is pretty much like Ukraine engineering. They basically take an RPG, an RPG in the games. They strap it onto.
Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around. If you're loving this content, hit the like button and subscribe and join to our awesome community. Ring that notification bell so you'll never miss a beat. Together, we're building something so special. Let's grow this channel and let's have some fun along the way. For some more content, check out these other fantastic channels. You got Checkin Habs, one-stop shop for all those things. Habs, sports, we got so much information on sports, guys. Come on. Hello. Checking accounts. Dive into the world of finance and economics, baby. Let's go. Big money. So that's it, fam. Come and check us out.
What? A quad drone. And they just put it directly in. They just shoot it directly into a tank, and it works. It takes out tanks. And this thing's pretty hard to shoot down. And this stuff is super cheap to make, man. The Ukraine had stockpiles of these kind of the heads of RPGs,
warheads,
and these quadcopters are super cheap to make, man. They're mass producing them in Ukraine, and
was it made of plastic?
Man, drone warfare is just such a game changer.
It is. It's carbon.
Ukraine and Russia has just revolutionized the drone warfare.
You guys ever see those Chinese drones?
Oh, yes, isn't that fucking scary?
Have you ever seen one?
Imagine each one had a fucking bomb. How are you gonna stop each one? Even if you have the best defense system in the world, how do you stop every little thing that's this big or that big? Maybe it's this big. This thing.
I purchased a drone company this week, actually.
Drone company?
Yeah, just
a military one or one. Well, these are not really military. These are makeshift drones.
That's all it takes. So
this is an example of what they. So it was crates like this shipping. Okay. They put it on through this is the US, not the USB, but whatever, the agents of the CIA of Ukraine, right? There's an 18-month project they did. They did to shell companies and stuff like that. They opened shell companies, and through Kazakhstan, I guess the border is not as secure there. They actually got Russian shipping companies, transport companies, to take these shipping containers that have a slide that opens up, and then these don't shoot out. They instructed these truck drivers to place it off 2 miles from bases. So all those trucks, remember the map, all these trucks went on deliveries, all precise to go on the same day and to open up at the same time. These things would shut up, and I'm going to show you footage of actually attacking the bases. Under that,
Yeah, but your phone.
They're charged. They're like the stations are under there. That's their home station.
it's actually going to break up. There's batteries under that.
Yeah.
That first layer. That whole container is just fuel cell batteries,
cells.
keeping it charged.
Oh, so charging them this.
The whole container is like a self-contained
Battery.
charging station.
charging station
Yeah.
for these things.
So when they come back to, they come
They
back
send a
down.
signal.
They
The thing
charge.
pops open. These things.
Yeah.
No,
come
these,
back?
these are
Yeah.
kamikaze. No, these are kamikaze.
Oh, they don't come back.
No, these are kamikaze drones. They don't. They're cheap. They just these things
Yeah.
cost like $50, $100. Maybe I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but they're better than a $40 million missile. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. Like before, like 2 miles away from these bases, right? So they hit 5 major air bases that I showed you before on the map, and they hit their main targets were 3 planes. I'll show you the planes. And the crazy thing is, these are what they're this is what they have in their fleet, but they're not replaceable because they haven't been built in years. This is Soviet Union planes. So these are very valuable in the sense that you can't replace them. Like you can't just build another one. You'd have to like go back in time and rebuild the factory from scratch and get the machine or everything. So these things are very valuable. So this one, the 222. I just want to show you because you're gonna see them on the footage. You're gonna recognize the planes. This is a 252. This is a bomber. This is the other bomber.
Yeah,
See,
that
like
looks
from
like a bomber. The other one was
They're
funky
bombs
looking.
apparently.
That's crazy.
This reminds me of Bombardillo Crocodillo. Brain rot.
They're not made.
And these are very valuable. You know what these are? These are the command centers in the sky. The one that tells you where the targets are, where the enemies are. This is like a defense system, but like electronically, it tells you where everybody is on the field. This is the AWACS. The US use this a lot. These are very valuable as well, man.
Yeah.
And they bombed a lot of these. These don't even make them anymore. This is the only ones they have.
They're really high, those guys, right? And they
They just fly all day,
just fly,
fuel in the sky, and just it's the eyes and ears of all the radar
Yeah.
systems, all the tracking systems. That's how you boost the signal
Those are
over territory, hostile territory, right?
Yeah.
Ukraine claims they bombed 41 aircrafts, those type of aircrafts, 41 of them. Video evidence that video evidence they can confirm 24 definitely were taken out. 2 of these, 2 were the planes, and they're estimating they made Russia the damage is up to $2 to $7 billion damage to the Russian. Hey, look, these are drones on top. Those are the battery systems.
Stations and remote-controlled roof mechanisms. The design allowed for drones to be launched either vertically or at an angle, depending on their type, while built-in signal shielding helped them avoid early detection by Russian surveillance. Once these mobile silos were ready, Ukrainian intelligence operatives, possibly with help from local sympathizers,
About this? You guys heard?
I did, but then I go to this.
moved them deep
I
into
didn't go
Russian
deep.
territory.
I heard about this and I looked at it. I was fascinated by it. I was so fascinated.
Pre-selected sites near key airbases, parked in places like forests, farms, or industrial areas where they blended into the landscape. They remained dormant for days or even weeks, with drones preloaded, charged, and waiting for the command to strike. When the time came, encrypted activation signals were sent remotely. The roofs of the containers slid open and the drones lifted off, some vertically, others using ramps or compressed air launch systems for a silent start. Because the launch sites were positioned just a few kilometers around 2 miles from their targets, the drones were able to reach their objectives quickly, leaving little time for Russian defenses to react. Operators guided them in real time using live video feeds, steering the drones with precision toward parked aircraft, fuel depots, and radar installations.
This is actual footage of the drone coming out of that crate and going to a. Well, this one actually doesn't go to a target, but this one's more like checking out the
How
situation.
did they get?
Take off from the roof of a modular building to hitting an aircraft.
This one's late to the turn now.
Say the recording captures the full path of one of the drones from the moment it took off to the destruction of a Russian Tu-22 M3 strategic bomber at the Belaya airfield. In particular, the video shows the drone flying a considerable distance and landing without obstacles in the territory of the airport, from which smoke previously hit planes is already rising. And as it approaches here, they say the total cost of damages was $7 billion US. As it approaches, you can see some of the smoke in the fields. Couple different, it leads you to believe that some of these drones may have been shot down or crashed on their way to the target. There's also the possibility that as something detonates, burning material flies into the air in a variety of different directions. But
like the first plane I
nonetheless,
showed.
this one coming in after a fair amount of destruction has already happened to the air.
What? This happened so quickly. This is like 2 miles away, just swarmed, no chance to react. And it happened at the same time, so it's not like it happened in one base and there was a red alarm and then the other
warning
a warning to the other guys, watch for your planes. This happened exactly the same
simultaneously. So
airfields. Now, a couple key points as we let this play. When we're talking about overall battle damage assessments from this attack, it's still kind of challenging to gather. Clearly,
this is really good.
They're all
Yeah.
those back circular things.
So I was curious about that, and I looked into it. We're putting tires on the wings and stuff for that. So there apparently it's the full AI from the satellite or something to recognize it.
It doesn't recognize. Okay,
that's the idea behind it, but I don't think it's effective.
Oh, they're tires. You're right. Look at that. Man, I thought they were little donuts. How big is that?
The value of the planes, why they're not in each little protective house.
Because they felt so safe.
Still, if I have a $10 billion thing, it's in a garage, guaranteed.
At least in a hangar.
Whatever it is, that could be blown up. But I mean,
that
not
is
out in the open.
You're right, but there's also a treaty that the United States did with Russia that they cannot cover their nuclear bomb, their planes that can carry nuclear weapons. So if anything ever, they signed this because if anything ever happened, they can check in the satellite and see, okay, they still have their all bombers are still there. Okay, there's no like if they get a whiff of like a Russian planes coming, that's what they do right away. They check if any bombers took off and they're in the area. So they did a treaty that bombers have to be out in the open, but I think it's only nuclear bombers. It's the ones that can carry nuclear missiles. These other ones were not nuclear. Maybe they